Welcome back. It's the last day of Mobility Week, and we're going to start this segue into stability, the other side of the coin. So we've been talking a lot about mobility, and to recap, mobility is about getting full range of movement in a joint so it doesn't affect the position of the joint or the structure next to it. Now, the structure next to it, we want not to move. And that's one of the areas that we're going to be looking at tomorrow for stability, because we can force that structure not to move. So we're going to be doing our mobility exercises today, but we're also going to be starting to flip over into a concentration of really using the structure next to it, not only to increase the mobility, but also to provide a stable platform for the body for natural movement when you're on your everyday tasks. So let's start in lying down. So what I want to do before we get to our exercise is think about our stable points here. We want our hips, our pelvis flat against the mat. We want our rib cage heavy into the mat. We want our head there, but we want them in a particular way lined up. In between our pelvis and our rib cage are our abdominal muscle sets, and transverse abdominis, and then the abdominal wall. We've got our back muscles as well, and we've got our lateral obliques and intercostals all holding that together. Now, if we want both of those stable, we're going to have to engage those muscle sets so that they don't move, and that's called our rib to hip connection. So I want you to breathe in, exhale, bring the rib cage down and really engage those muscles. That connection there is our stable point. I want you to bring your legs into a double knee fold. Having that stable point, take a deep breath in. As you bring the legs up, so we're going into toe taps. Use that rib to hip connection to hold this lower body down so that we can maximize the extension in the front of these legs as they come all the way down. Last one. And bring those legs down. Now, that's quite an extreme view of using those muscles to stabilize the pelvis and the ribs so they don't move by really gripping in. Much more normal movement would be a leg slide. So bringing that leg out, just so it's hovering above the ground, and then bringing it back in. We don't need so much tension, but we're maximizing as best we can this hip extension against the floor, and then we're using this rib to hip connection to stabilize the pelvis so the movement only comes from the hip, but also to stop any rotation of the pelvis towards the leg side where it's now heaviest because of gravity. And let's swap over to the other side. So, and last one. And then let's bring that down. Now, let's go to another familiar exercise, and we have that same tension between hips and the ribs, that connection to hold the rib cage down. But we've also got an increased press and pressure in the ribs. So we want to mobilize the shoulders. Inhale here and exhale to come out and over. Now exhale, increase the abdominal pressure so the ribs don't come up. They stay nice and flat to the body. And one more. And there we have it, that connection with stable point to help us stretch out another part. So, come into high kneeling, bring one leg out, and we're going to use that same theory as a way of stretching out the spine through the side. So arms out to the side. I want you to come over and not move that pelvis too much over the side. Try and keep it nice and stable. And so it comes back and allows the spine a full stretch. Now, by keeping one leg out, we've increased the stability here because it's already in a slight tilt. If we were to have our knees together, then it's going to be much harder. So let's first do the other side, and then we're going to check that theory. So over, keep the pelvis nice and stable. And then I'm going to bring you in sitting, cross your legs, and we're going to try the same thing but keeping our bum on the ground. So, bring one arm up, keep your bum on the ground, nice and stable. Now, hopefully, in comparing these two actions, you feel more of a stretch through the lower part of the body, because your bum is down and it is stable. And that way we get to bring our arms into full range of motion as it is without altering the body parts of the pelvis as we do our side bend. So let's come back up into the kneeling position. We're going to once again bring that leg further forward, arms out, and we're going to dip into the front of the thigh, stretching that out. Now this time I want you to really engage the abdominals, keep that pelvis pulled forward, and just see if you can detect a difference in the stretch through the front of the leg. Then we'll come to the other side. Really engage the front of those abdominals. Keep the tailbone pointing to the ground and really increases the stretch through to the knee. And one more. And then let's come back down. So we're going to finish with a familiar mobility one here. And this time, our goal is to use our back muscles to keep the foot down, the back of the leg down, and the pelvis down, allowing an increased stretch as we try and strive for increased range of motion through the leg. So engage those back muscles as you lift the leg. Give you a better, more stable pelvis. Two more of these. And last one. And then come back into sitting. So that's mobility and our segue into stability. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you a bit more about stability and why it's important, why having a strong core, in particular strong backs and really strong hips are really, really important to improving your situation with back pain. Until then, have a good day. Bye.